So, John, we were talking about your drinks that you have going on here.
Did we actually start?
Oh, I started recording a while ago.
Oh,
We're on.
good to know.
Lights,
You never
camera,
know what's
action.
going to make it on.
I can't wait.
He's behaving so far.
What is it that you get
So
from
far.
Hyper?
Well, this morning, I get an aftershock every day. So much so that when I pull up and they see me, they're like, do you want an aftershock today? Or are you going to go crazy with it?
Oh, that's funny.
And I
So the aftershock isn't crazy. Sounds
no,
kind of intense.
It's just blue raspberry and pomegranate.
Ooh, that's why it's a nice purple color.
I did add prickly pear today, though.
Ooh,
So I can get a little
there's
sassy
3
for the
flavors
podcast.
going on in there.
Changing it
3.
up.
Yeah.
Wow,
Just whole flavor profile just completely changes.
that's insane.
I think their best flavor is white chocolate, but it like goes to the bottom, and John does not like that. We've
No.
discussed this.
The separation is gross.
You just stir it.
So much for that
Stir
hyper
it.
sponsor we were hoping to get. It's not happening now. We're roasting them on the pod.
Roasted.
Well, I'm curious about the coffee. What do you usually get?
Well, I would normally get like a hot caramel macchiato, but today, because that's my coffee, right, Riley?
Right. That's definitely not mine.
I
John, are you okay?
decided to get a vanilla cream cold brew.
Sure.
That
Yes.
is exactly what I wanted this morning.
Yum,
Alongside
yum, yum.
my hyper, I needed 800 milligrams of caffeine.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
to get through. For reference, folks, we do record this podcast at 6:30 in the morning. I need you to know
Yeah.
that.
We need all the energy we can get.
All of it.
None of this is
Absolutely.
natural.
Well, getting into it, folks. Welcome back, loyal listeners and viewers, to another episode of the Heart of PHC podcast. Today, we're thrilled to sit down with someone who's been a vital part of PHC's journey, our very own Director of Clinics, John Shaw. Originally from Minnesota, John made the move to Iowa in 2018 to join the PHC family. With his wife and extended family now rooted here, Iowa has become truly home. Before joining us, John served as a lab supervisor at the University of Minnesota. What? Oh my gosh, so many words.
What?
His PHC journey began as a prevention specialist with the project, and from there he became the prevention services manager, followed by a promotion to area director, and today he leads us as the director of clinics.
What a journey.
What
Yeah.
a journey.
What a journey.
What first drew John to PHC was our mission to serve all patients. But what's kept him here? The incredible people he's worked alongside, who have helped him grow both personally and professionally. Please join us in welcoming John Shaw to the podcast. We're so lucky to have him here.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, absolutely.
So getting into it, John, you made the move from Minnesota to Des Moines, we mentioned. What inspired that transition?
Truthfully, it was just a lack of wanting to do that drive from Des Moines to Minneapolis over and over
sure.
again, because my wife and I were, or my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, we're in a long distance relationship. So every weekend we would travel the 4 hours, one way or the other, to try and
Aw.
go see each other. And eventually we just decided, you know what, we're done with this.
We should try something easier.
Yeah,
So you moved for love.
let's move. So we had a relatively short conversation because I wasn't
I'm sure it didn't take a lot of convincing by then.
rooted at the time in Minneapolis. So
Sure.
yeah, came down here. Looked
That's
everywhere.
amazing. Well, grateful that worked out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like, so did you, I guess, when you were like in that period of kind of like, did you have big dreams of like what your career would look like going forward? I totally just took that and ran with it, but I must know, like,
That's,
did you have like career aspirations at that time, or were you?
I mean, I wouldn't say that if someone asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I would have said like here as an area director, but
Sure.
you know, I knew I wanted to work in healthcare. I was applying to a lot of the different organizations around here. So like Unity Point,
Okay.
Mercy, a bunch of pharmacies. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a question later that we'll get more into that. but-
Absolutely, there is. How did you know?
How?
I wanted to ask, what initially sparked your interest in prevention work?
So I knew a little bit about PrEP, and I knew that Iowa was a leader when it came to like HIV prevention and care.
True.
So when I was looking for jobs, that's what kind of made PHC stand out. And honestly, coming here versus like Unity Point or the pharmacy that I applied at, a lot of their questions kind of centered around like, okay, here's the job, but then also here's our mission, vision, values.
Yeah.
Here's what we do for the patients. here's what we like to promote as us, as PHC. And more so than any of the other companies that I was applying at, I was like, okay, I'm into that. I can see why this prevention work versus like others is making strides.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. And I'm sure, like, I think in an interview you can really feel that. And I feel like that's a lot of times like why you end up where you do is you just that alignment. And so I'm curious to hear from you now that you've been here and you've been in your various roles, what continues to motivate and excite you about working in community health?
Ooh, that's a great question. Community health, more so than, I guess, other disciplines, is a lot more fun, I want to say, first. There's been opportunities that I've had at PHC that I haven't really had or wouldn't have with other companies or with other healthcare disciplines. I mean, I got to MC a drag show at the Garden for World AIDS Day.
Where else can you say that?
Exactly. You know, it's promoting that idea of how do we like treat the person holistically? How do we get in and meet them where they're at in their community so that, you know, we can say, hey, let's get you better, whatever that may look like.
Yep.
And that is where community health shines versus something like, I don't know, filling a prescription at a pharmacy.
For sure.
That getting into the community point, I've seen that a lot with you, and I've heard a lot about how you do that very well. So glad you mentioned that. Let's see here. What's next? Can you share a bit about your journey at PHC and how your role has evolved over time?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, started initially as a prevention specialist downstairs in the project, and then really latched onto that role and the prevention manager role just because of, again, how unique they were and how, you know, much we focused on the prep aspects, how much we focused on getting into the community and meeting people, really building up people's confidence in like the, I don't know, medications and everything that we were pushing forward and building up at the time. But then also, like, you create a lot of relationships in the community, which are kind of like the cornerstone of what's going to make you successful in that role. So then what that does is that opens up a lot of avenues and makes you more comfortable doing things throughout the entire organization. So like, okay, I'm working with, I don't know, Ima at the Blazing Saddle, and we're talking about how are we going to, I don't know, do something that's like an anti-stigma campaign, or how are we going to get the word out that we need to build up people's knowledge surrounding HIV. So with our prevention advisory board, we decided, hey, let's do like a, I don't know, like a poster campaign that really speaks about treating people the same, looking at equity, looking at, you know, just anti-stigma as a whole and what that means. So we rented out an art studio on Keogh and invited 15 community members to the art studio and took a bunch of pictures with them. And then each of them got to make their own poster with their own anti-stigma phrase that we hung up all over Des Moines.
That's so cool.
But
It really is.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to that journey, like, you don't, like I said before, you don't get that experience anywhere else really. And doing things like that really build up your confidence in, like, hey, you know what, I can do more. You know, I have these ideas. I want to use those in other roles. So that's where, I guess, long story short, I just got my confidence to, like, apply for area director, apply for director of clinics, just because there's so many different things that you can do as long as you, I don't know, think that you can.
And how long were you in each position? I'm not even sure how long you've been with PHC.
Well, 2018, so 7 years at this point.
Oh, dang.
But I think I was a prevention specialist for maybe a year at most.
Okay.
And then I went into the manager position for, I would say, 2-ish years. And then area director for 3, and then director of clinics as of early this year.
Yes, we love to see it.
Trying to think. My pauses are because I'm thinking. And
I'm sure it's all, I mean, 7 years is, in the grand scheme, such a short period of time, and you've done so much in that 7 years. I do feel like, you know, to your point about just impact, and like, it does make it easier to stay somewhere and to feel motivated to move up and or just see what else you can accomplish when you know that the impact that you make is like so meaningful and you
Right.
can see it.
Right.
So I think that, I mean, I not to start making this about me, but like I would agree with that. Like you see the impact that you make and it's like, okay, I can keep doing this, or I can get creative and do this even in other ways.
100%.
Yeah. Really cool.
Had to
For
take
our
my-
listeners, I need you to know that John just took off his glasses. He's tired of looking at us.
No, it's because I'm so sweaty because I feel like I'm under interrogation right
Don't
now.
lie on the pod. We don't tolerate
It's a lie
it.
detector.
We don't want you to be too comfortable.
This
Oh,
is
no,
actually
heck no.
Vanity Fair. We forgot
Yeah.
to tell you.
Sure.
So, John, going back to prevention, what initiatives or efforts do you really feel helped move our services forward?
Yeah, that's a great question. I can think of 3 big ones. My first one was I was a prevention manager during COVID. And so I worked with the state to try and figure out, like, okay, people are very scared about coming into our brick and mortar location to get a HIV test. And obviously we didn't have the funds to go up to everybody and provide testing on the spot wherever people were. So I worked with Cody Schaefer at the state, and we decided, you know what, why don't we try to push forward at-home HIV testing. It was something that we had never done before. We had to build up the testing from the ground up, and so we worked together. We developed this whole workflow on what was going to go on. We created a bunch of different ways in which we'd be able to track the tests and send the tests out and link people to services if a test came back with an unexpected result. And yeah, we ended up sending hundreds and hundreds of tests out during COVID, which was huge. And that was all just an initiative to make sure that people could still get HIV testing services and wouldn't have to put themselves in harm's way, potentially get COVID or other opportunistic infections.
Yeah, when I was a prevention specialist, I remember those at-home tests really helped break down barriers for folks. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were the reason that happened.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
Yep, and then it was actually so successful during COVID that instead of just servicing our service area with these tests, they asked me to be the person that was going to send them out for the entire state of Iowa. So that was it's a pretty big deal. That was pretty cool.
That is a big deal.
So that was my first initiative that I was pretty proud of. Second, I would say would be the opt-in HIV or opt-out HIV testing at University Clinic. So if you come in and you've never gotten an HIV test at primary healthcare before, and you're at University Clinic, you will at some point receive an HIV test unless you opt out of that service. And really what that is just making sure that everyone at one point in their life will get an HIV test. So it does a few things. One, it helps catch maybe those infections that are unknown to the person, because you can live with HIV for a while and really not know it because the symptoms won't show up for, a relatively long time in some people. But also, it does help break down that stigma of, hey, here's an HIV test. Everyone does it. It's not that big of a deal. So, let's just get
We're
more
not
people
making
tested.
you do this because of any other reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you mentioned that's at university. As director of clinics, is it a goal of yours to get that across all the clinics?
Well, yes, it absolutely is. That was my pilot site when I was.
So do we have it across all the clinics now?
We have it in some clinics, yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's a good call out. I should start working on that. Thank you, Red.
Just keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was big. I mean, that takes a lot because you're doing a policy change. You're creating workflows, and it's really just a whole new thing, for everybody involved. And then my third thing, this is more of this is kind of a fun moment, less than instead of being super important. But at Pride in 2019, I remember all of the presidential candidates were caucusing or campaigning for Pride.
Yeah.
So I reached out to every single campaign and was like, hey, PHC is going to be on site if you want to record your candidate getting an HIV test. And there was 2 candidates that actually responded back and said, yeah, sure, why not?
Wow.
And I remember my favorite candidate that came was Cory Booker.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what he is now. Maybe a senator, I think.
Yeah.
But so we did a whole show. So we brought him into the unit. We showed him everything that was going to go on. I brought him in the back room. We did his HIV test. And then afterwards, which is kind of the part that I'm, a little giddy about, after he got his result, he called his girlfriend at the time, who was Rosario Dawson. And I got to talk to Rosario Dawson and talk through like, hey, I just tested your boyfriend for HIV.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What a flex.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty cool. So she, obviously doesn't remember it, but I thought it was pretty sweet.
you don't know
That
that.
is awesome.
She might.
Yeah, for sure.
That might be
she
one of those
definitely does.
moments that really stuck with her.
Yeah. She went on and played Ahsoka in Star Wars, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so
Okay.
big deal.
Yeah. You've had a really inspiring journey here at PHC, and you've got a lot of great stories about growing and making an impact in a lot of different ways. So for folks who have similar goals and really want to, grow and kind of like move up in the organization, what do you recommend in terms of training? What do you recommend in terms of making that a reality for them?
Yeah, I think it's taking the onus onto yourself to really jump in and be motivated.
Yeah.
So finding opportunities in which you can really make a difference, or you can join committees or work with somebody or ask for mentorships that will get you the skills and the training that you need to move up. So I think I know pretty early on that was something that I was really wanting to do. So I remember one of the first committees that I joined was like an infection control committee that met once a month.
Okay.
And Julie Rash, the COO and my now current boss, was leading that. And I was like, look at how well this meeting's run. Look at how much we decide. Look how much we get through. This is amazing. So it's like looking for opportunities like that where you can kind of expand your knowledge base, your skill set, the tools that you have in your tool bag to really build up yourself.
Yeah.
So just look for those opportunities and,
Absolutely.
be motivated.
I love that. Love it.
What does a typical day look like for you as director of clinics, John?
That's a good question. I would say, like the area director role and the clinic or director of clinics role, there really isn't kind of like a stock standard. This is what my standard day is going to look like. In a lot of cases, it's really thinking strategically on, whatever initiative we're working on at the time. But sometimes it's kind of going to the different sites where something is happening. I don't want to say put out a fire, but, sometimes there's just a little bit of chaos that I need to go and chaos coordinate through. So
Yes, the chaos coordinator, you could say.
yeah.
Keep things fun.
It definitely keeps things unique. Every day is, I would say, so long story short, easy answer, every day is different.
Yeah.
There's no stock standard 8 to 9 I'm going to do this, 9 to noon I'm going to do this, and so on and so forth.
Except today, 6:30 to 7:30, you're with us.
Yeah, did you know that there's a 5:30 a.m.? Did you know that that's a time on the clock? Because I didn't. And that's when I had to wake up
He's like,
today.
For the
That's
first
felt.
time
Yeah, for the first
in
time
the
ever.
world, I saw the time 5:30
Yep.
on my phone. Yeah.
And it was
We also, so now
Awful.
you've got this on your calendar every day. That's
from now
That's your
Forward
anchor.
to
until the end of
Yeah.
time. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. We figured you needed the anchor,
You know what? I appreciate you guys.
We have to,
The next podcast, I'm just going to come sit in the back. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to hang.
Yeah.
Just going to
That's
be a
all we need.
watcher.
we have to get you started somehow, right?
Yeah. I'll bring 4
there
caffeinated
you
drinks
go.
next time.
There you go.
Very good.
So, John, how do you mentor and support the site directors you oversee?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think when it comes to mentoring, the thing that I've found out throughout the years is that, everyone's leadership style is different, and you really have to cater to people's strengths while also identifying really the areas of opportunity that they have to grow. So we have a bunch of books in our PHC library that if you ever want to like learn what your strengths are, we have a strengths-based leadership book that you can look at, you can take. And I think that's important at just identifying what you are good at or like how you respond to, you know, different like external stimuli. Because, you know, if someone brings up like a highly emotional problem, I would say in a lot of cases, I'm not the greatest at responding to that when someone gets really elevated. And I know that, and that's what I continually want to work on. So being able to like self-identify, but then also identify those characteristics in the people that you're leading is really important so that you can work on, like I said, both strengths and maybe your areas of opportunity.
John, would you like to share with our audience your Enneagram type? We've talked Enneagram on this show before.
Yeah. I'm an Enneagram 3,
Yeah.
which, you know, that's one one's based around like respect, right?
Yep.
And spoiler alert again for a question coming later, I would say that respect was going to be my number one eye care value.
Okay. A little
So it's
Easter
just-
egg. We
it's
love
just-
it.
Easter egg.
Right in.
Just call him Taylor Swift.
Wait,
Is Taylor Swift a 3?
Well, she is, but she also lays a lot of
Is she
Easter eggs.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
of
that's
course.
funny.
Are you
Yes.
disappointed that she's not a 9?
No, because as a 9, I have a growth point to 3, so I really look up to her and other 3s in my
okay.
life.
Well, now we just need to find out. Moises?
No, I was just going to ask. I was just going to mention the Enneagram because, as
Yeah.
you said, what makes a great leader is finding those opportunities for your staff to, places where they can grow and finding what weaknesses they have and just working with everybody together so that we can make a better work environment.
Totally.
So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Agree.
What else do I got? Let's see. NTBI, INTJ.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, you are INTJ. I
And
feel like you told
then-
me that. Yeah.
You're an introvert?
Yeah.
And that is surprising
goes,
for anybody that knows him.
And that was what made the prevention manager position hard. Is I have to
sure.
very much. That's why I'm sweating profusely because
You can't tell.
all of this like
Yeah.
external
Just the-
stimuli.
yeah,
Ooh, it just
sure.
makes. I just really need to try really hard to like be here in the
Yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
be comfortable with the moment. You know. So,
You're a pro at it. Clearly, you've had a lot of practice
Thank
because you wouldn't know otherwise.
that was actual sweat that I wiped off. My
Yeah, no, I definitely saw that. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, really quick, not to stay here, but Moises, what's your Enneagram number?
This is a sore subject.
Ooh.
He
Should we move
doesn't.
to
He
Riley
doesn't
first?
know. He doesn't
It
know.
will continue to
So
be a
6.
mystery, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like
think
I
he-
needed to retake
I think
it.
he wants it to be a mystery.
Oh,
Yeah.
Most
okay.
things in his life, yeah. He doesn't want you to
doesn't
know the
want you-
details.
I'm a whole
That's
mystery.
right.
What can I say?
He wants to know
Nice.
your details, but he doesn't want to give you his.
He has
Very
said he's in
nice.
his villain era, and you don't get to know too much about the
I am in
villains.
my villain era.
He's lasted about 20 years, but it's fine.
Any particular favorite villain?
Ooh.
He loves Disney.
I do love Disney.
Who doesn't?
I know.
They own every media property now, so like you have to love.
You
Disney.
do, especially if you're a 3 and you
Yeah.
care about that kind of thing.
I will keep it a secret.
See,
Oh my
Keep it a
I
secret.
can't stand
he
you.
Okay.
doesn't want you to know anything about him.
We're not moving the camera, but we're
Moises,
moving
what's
the
your
camera.
last name?
Starts with a C.
He said, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
What does it?
HR. I'm a 2, right? That's what
Yeah.
we discussed. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I don't know a whole lot about that. I just know that I am a 2.
Very, the befriender. Very,
Oh.
energetically generous. Very sweet, warm.
All
Yeah.
things Riley.
Thank
All
you.
things Riley.
Thank you.
So you've got clinics like across multiple locations. You've got leaders that you're managing across multiple locations. How do you keep them connected to each other and aligned with the same work? How do you manage all of that?
Yeah, I think I learned early on in the prevention manager position that just constant communication, just making sure that you're available, but also setting aside time for your staff is very important. So
Yep.
I'm going to get a lot of crap from a few people that I'm leading right now, but I love to do one-on-ones at the frequency that is set by, the person that I'm doing the one-on-one with, but at least once a month. And that's just dedicated like an hour or 2 hours that we'll sit down and like kind of talk through what you're doing.
Sure.
But then also I do have, just like any leader, I'm assuming, weekly meetings where we get together like as our side-by-side team, like our clinic director team and talk through like what we're experiencing, what we're going through, and anything that's coming up on the horizon. And I think, you know, as a prevention manager, what I learned is doing that, even if you have a small team, is very important. Sitting down and talking through like, hey, this is what the next month looks like. This is who's on PTO coming up. This is what I plan on doing in the prevention manager position these weekends so that we can prepare our schedules around that. But now as clinic director, it's here's the big initiatives that are getting pushed. Yeah. Here's what we're going to want to focus on over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. And really just giving them time to, you know, ask me questions too. What training needs do you have? What other needs do you have? And then outside of all of that, team building stuff. So we've gone axe throwing a bunch. We've gone to Top Golf. I'm currently setting up what are they called? Like a smash room. With the crew, so that we can go somewhere and just break stuff.
Love
that'd
that.
be great.
So we got a lot of like
Do we get an invite?
rage to get out.
For sure.
Think about it. That's all I'm saying. Think about an invite for us because I have a lot of rage inside.
Are y'all ready to like Hulk out? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
This pod turned into such a confessional, and I'm so here for it.
I know HR is ready to book.
I know. I'm like, I'm there actually. I will not claim the HR title if it means that I can have some fun.
Take it off during that.
But here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, John, but you are kind of the like poster child to the rest of the organization of like good team building. Like I hear people all the time talk about like, oh, we need to be more like John and like be like proactive about team building and like doing more like fun stuff. And I think even as an HR team, like we're pretty good at it, but like you get referenced quite a bit because you've done some fun stuff with your team.
We
Yeah.
have.
I met this man back in 2020 when I joined the Prevention Advisory Board, and he was a big reason why I ended up at PHC because of the team building he did with us.
And an introvert, like like you wouldn't know, like he's.
I promise you that is the case. If I had an extremely long day where it was like meeting, talk, I go home and I face plant in my bed, and even my wife knows. Just don't talk to me.
Just don't talk to him.
I need to recharge.
For sure.
Well, John, before we let you go, we want to know, how do you live out the I Care values?
That is a fantastic question. So back when I first started, I remember Heather Smith, who was my manager my first manager at the project. She had a saying that she said right away in our first interview, which was, I'm going to lead with mutual trust and respect. And I latched onto that like so hard. I love that. Like, because every successful team anywhere, the foundation of that is always trust. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, the only way that you're going to have like conducive, very meaningful interactions with people, even if you don't agree, those are always based in respect. So like those two things, trust and respect, are huge for me. So I Care values, just going to that R in care, which is respect, is just trying to live with that every single day in every single interaction, making sure that even if like, again, we're not agreeing on what we're talking about, we have very differing viewpoints on how we should proceed forward, that doesn't mean that there should be any like personal attacks or people should be like yelling at each other or saying like derogatory things. Everything should be rooted in respect. That's how you're going to push anything forward. So I think, that's kind of where, I thrive, I guess, is just living that out. And then all the other I Care values, integrity, compassion, access, excellence, also very important. But
I couldn't remember the E, so I'm glad you said that.
I took
More
this
She never
Yeah.
remembers an E.
I took this as
Riley,
more
do
of
you even
a
work here?
I took it as more of a test, so I wanted to make sure that everybody knew it.
Yeah,
know what
you
all five
passed.
are.
You passed.
Yeah, I mean they're fantastic values. So just think about that in any interaction you have, and if you're just using one, you're going to do great.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, John, for being here. I mean, you are an inspiration to so many of us, and so it's great to just hear from you about, what motivates you and what you love about this work. So thank you so much for being on the pod.
Thanks.
Yes, and thank you so much to our viewers for watching. If you didn't know already, you are able to listen to us anywhere that you get your podcasts. And to our listeners, just so you know, you can watch us on YouTube. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.